Turkish Airlines. 7 days. Bwin. And Siesta. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Outside this venue a little earlier tonight, this was where Real Madrid lifted the title in their own home court around 18 months ago. And here we see them arriving for the game around an hour and a half ago. Coach Pablo Lasso first off the bus. Jonas Maciulis, a summer signing there, Othello Hunter. Rudy Fernandez still a key player. And there's a young star, just 17 years old, Luka Doncic. As we head inside the Real Madrid locker room, this team looking to improve to 5-2 today, winning 4 of its first 6 games, starting off with a victory against Olympiacos and winning on the road against Maccabi, losing at home against Baskonia and losing at CSKA last time out. And now Panathinaikos arriving. We saw there Ianis Barousis, and before him the coach Xavi Pascual, a very well-known figure, formerly a coach of Barcelona, Real Madrid's arch rivals, now in charge of Panathinaikos. And Panathinaikos, like Real Madrid, also 4-2 heading into this game, most recently with that thrilling overtime victory last week in the game of the week against Maccabi Fox Tel Aviv. It's regular season round 7. It's the Barclaycard Centre. It's Real Madrid against Panathinaikos Superfood Athens. Tip-off is just 3 minutes away now inside the Barclaycard Centre. And Xavi Pascual getting to grips with this Panathinaikos team. Be interesting to see the kind of style he takes them down over the course of the coming months. A little too early still for him to have made a big impact, but the results have been good, as he shares a few pre-match words with James Gist, who's such an important player for Panathinaikos in his 5th season with the team, and one of the keys this season to their defensive strength. 10th in the league in steals, James Gist, and that kind of energy and hustle is what has been making them such a formidable force so far this season. Really is such a fascinating Turkish Airlines EuroLeague season. With the standings we saw briefly earlier, CSKA now with the game dropped, it was going to happen sooner or later in this ultra-competitive league. No team's going to walk through it. CSKA now top of the pile, 6-1, Darushavka 5-2. And then so many teams closely packed together. No less than 10 teams separated by just 1 game on 4 and 3 victories. Every team has won at least once, Galatasaray becoming the final team to get in the win column last week. And I think we're going to see, as the results have shown so far this season, what you could call upsets every week, although maybe they shouldn't be called an upset. For example, when we saw Fenerbahce lose its first game of the season against Unix Kazan, is that really an upset? I don't think so in this new, highly competitive EuroLeague format. And tonight, I think we can expect, for sure, another highly competitive encounter between two teams who have won the title so many times. Now the starting 5 for Panathinaikos. James Feldine, Nick Kalathis in the backcourt, Gist, Nichols and Barousis. The 5 starters for Panathinaikos. Be interesting to see how much of a role Barousis does have tonight, because he's not been too heavily involved in the last few weeks. But the starting 5 for Real Madrid, Doncic and Llull in the backcourt. Reyes getting the start with Jonas Maciulis and Gustavo Ayón. So that's a big lineup to start with, Maciulis, Reyes and Ayón. We'll see, no doubt, J.C. Carroll, Anthony Randolph, Rudy Fernandez come into the game before too long for Real Madrid. Plenty of rotations at the disposal of the home team coach, Pablo Lasso. And just before we do get started, can confirm the other results from tonight. As I mentioned, Darushavka 91, CSKA Moscow 83, behind big nights from Brad Wanamaker and James Anderson, who scored 38 between them. An expectedly low-scoring game between two predominantly defensive teams. Olympiacos beating Barcelona 59-52. And Žalgiris getting its second win of the season in Kaunas, 87-75 against Galatasaray. And what that does mean is that only two teams will have 5 wins after this round, Darüşşafaka being one of them, and the winner of this game being the other. The pre-match handshakes between two sets of players who know each other so well. The connections between these clubs already talked about. Casey Rivers and Yanis Barousis facing their former teams. So too, Nikos Papas was a B-team player in his young days, number 11 for Panathinaikos. And of course, on the sidelines, Lasso and Pascual, two coaches who know each other extremely well. So we're ready for tip-off from Madrid against Panathinaikos. And the first possession with Nick Kalathis, hands it off to Felding. Back to Kalathis from Nichols. Gist is in the left corner, but the pass comes inside to Barousis. Nice pass, and Barousis getting his timing perfect there with Kalathis. Good first possession from Panathinaikos, sharing the ball. And a good finish at the end. Now here's Llull, goes alone. Takes on the shot, no good. Whistle's blown. It's a defensive foul. As they contested the rebound. It was Reyes, held away from it by James Gist. Now Doncic into Ion. Got a size advantage over Nichols, kicks the pass out to Maciulis, and it's good for 3. First triple of the game from Jonas Maciulis, who is a good three-point shooter. Probably one of the lesser talked about players in this Madrid lineup, but he's very, very efficient. Now Felding. Kalathis looking to create. Sends it short to Nichols, who gives it back to Kalathis. Just 2 seconds on the shot clock. Kalathis has to send it up. No good, and the rebound drops to the EuroLeague's all-time leading rebounder, Felipe Reyes. He's got a few of those in his time, and another one now. Llull now draws the foul, just stuttering to stop his run and really making Kalathis run into him. As we see the opening basket again. Good connection between Kalathis and Barousis. Nice pick and roll on the alley-oop layup. Panathinaikos will look to see more of that from Yanis Barousis, who's been fairly quiet by his standards so far this season. Maciulis looking for Ion. Another foul on the floor. That's the 3rd for Panathinaikos in just a minute and a half. This one is on Dimitris Nichols. Nichols became a champion last season with CSKA Moscow before heading to Athens for the new campaign. Here's Sergio Llull once more, everything going through him, and this time takes on the shot. Looked like it was going to drop, but it didn't. Barousis with the rebound. Fast break for Panathinaikos. Kicks it out to Feldin, who's a good shooter. Has the space and shows he's a good shooter with the triple. The lead is Panathinaikos's. And the second lead of the night. Now look at the trust that Real Madrid have in Luka Doncic. Just 17, but he's already being given the start in the backcourt alongside Llull. Ion in the paint. Real Madrid shooting is off so far. Just that one from Maciulis. Llull with a couple of misses, and Ion as well. And Feldin. Barousis will go to work against Ion, and Ion reaching in. Gets the foul called on him. First foul of the night, as we see. Came into Barousis just where he likes to receive it. So, from the foul, Panathinaikos start again. Felding, good movement. Perfectly timed. Kalathis seeing that Felding had drifted into space, getting the pass from him. Felding with back-to-back triples now. Opens up a 5-point lead for Panathinaikos. And Real Madrid's usually explosive offense so slow to start so far. Maciulis, the turnaround jumper. Second foul called on Nichols. And that may well see him have to come to the sideline. Contact from Nichols on Maciulis as he tried to shoot, so there will be a couple of free throws for Maciulis. The first of which he misses, rather summing up Real Madrid's start to this game on offense. It's not clicking for them yet. Maciulis coming into this game with only 2 previous free throw attempts. 73 minutes in the first 5 games of the season as Kalafis looks to go coast to coast and draws the foul from Maciulis. Everything going well for Panathinaikos on offense so far. And Kalafis will go to the free throw line. Not been a good free throw shooter so far this season, just 9 of 16 converted. Made an effective start to this game, passing the ball, that's for sure. Nick Kalafis, player ranking 3rd in the league in assists, already has 3 to his name. And in keeping with his overall record so far this season, he makes 1 of 2 of the free throws. So still a 5-point lead for Panathinaikos after Maciulis and Kalafis get 1 foul shot each. Now Doncic driving in and missing from close range when the space opened up for Doncic as he drove. Looked like he was going to make that shot, but just off. A flat start offensively for Panathinaikos, for Real Madrid, but there was a foul called there on Barousis. Now here's Llull. Gets away from Kalafis. Again, it rims out. Well, just not dropping for them. You probably thought he'd scored there. Now Kalafis sends up another alley-oop. Gist improvises by catching and trying to throw it back. On the fast break, comes off the foot of Barousis, who just stuck out the big left foot. Prevent the pass from Ion reaching Doncic. And 3.5 minutes played, and just so far the 4 points scored by Real Madrid and only 1 field goal. That being scored by Maciulis, 3-pointer. And here's Llull weaving his way through, stretches out and with his right hand guides it into the net to reduce the deficit. Feldin looks for the pass from Kalafis, but doesn't get it. He's looking for Barousis, gets to him. 1-on-1 against Ion in the paint. Barousis taking his time. His shot doesn't drop. And Llull now in transition. Sends it to Doncic, who can shoot from anywhere. One of the most accurate shooters in the league so far this season, Luka Doncic. This time sends a pass out to Maciulis, back inside for Ion. Ion with a tough pass under the basket, doesn't find Llull, and now Kalafis, Nichols, Feldin looking for a 3rd triple, gets it. And up to 9 points goes James Feldin. He's on fire. And Panathinaikos has a 6-point lead. And that isn't going to count from Doncic at the other end. He's called for a travel, as we see again. James Feldin with the smooth shot. Feldin with just 7 of 20 of his 3-pointers connected before tonight. That's only 35%, and that's below his usual standards, but he's making amends already tonight. You see there the travel by Doncic at the other end as we move towards the midway point of the first quarter. Barousis Hands it off to Feldin. It gets away from him, and it's going to be turned over. Feldin just taking his eye off the ball. We are exactly midway through the first quarter, and we're going to have the first change in personnel as Llull comes out of the game. No, he's, excuse me, he's just going to the sidelines to play the inbound pass, in fact. So here's Doncic, Ion. Maciulis hits a triple. Trying to keep pace with Feldin at the other end. These two lighting up the three-pointers so far. Getting it back to a three-point game. 15 of our 21 points have come in triples from just two players so far. And here's Kalafis. Gets a move against space away from Ion and sinks it perfectly. First two-pointer of the night for Nick Kalafis. Actually, it was a triple. Ion drives at the other end. Real Madrid's offense now maybe starting to click. Points in the last two possessions. Kalafis to Nichols. Feldin, they'll try and open him up for a three-point shot again. Just a two this time. And he can't score that one. And then there's the foul under the basket on the rebound. There we go into a TV timeout with 3 minutes 53 remaining in this first quarter. Panathinaikos leading it by 4. Thanks to James Feldin. What a great start he's made. A trio of three-pointers from James Feldin. Jonas Maciulis answering at the other end for Real Madrid with 6 points of his own, but Pablo Lasso's men not having it their own way so far. Llull has been unable to find his flow, connecting on just one of his 4 shots. And it's Xavi Pascual will be the happier of these two coaches so far. You see, this is the only shot made so far by Llull. And the third of the 3 triples there from James Feldin. And he knows this arena well. Played in Spain for a while with Fuenlabrada earlier in his career. The most impressive aspect of his season so far has been his ball handling. He's ranked #1 in the league in assist to turnover ratio. Always such an important stat, I feel. Underrated, the importance of how many assists you give compared to how many turnovers you concede. And Feldin with a ratio of 566, so nearly 6 assists for every turnover so far. But impressing with his point scoring so far tonight. So back from the timeout. And Real Madrid with no changes in personnel. There's a couple for Panathinaikos with Botcharidis coming in at point guard here. And we've also got Casey Rivers into the game for Dimitris Nichols, who's on 3 fouls now. That was his 3rd that he picked up just before the timeout. James Gist getting his own rebound and putting it back in. Such an athletic, strong player, Gist, showing it there. Restoring the 4-point advantage. Real Madrid are going to have Anthony Randolph and Rudy Fernandez into the action in a minute, but first there's another 3-point attempt, this time from Reyes. It's no good. And Botcharidis giving some rest to Kalafis in the backcourt. Now into Barousis, who spins but can't connect on the shot. And it's going to be a Panathinaikos ball. As we see the 2 changes for Real Madrid. Reyes and Doncic out. And coming in, Fernandez and Anthony Randolph. Also for Panathinaikos, Chris Singleton into the game. Turned over immediately from the inbound pass. Maciulis with the quick dish over to Llull. Randolph's first touch. Almost turned it over as Felding got a hand in, but it's back with Rudy Fernandez. Fernandez in the backcourt now with Llull. Rudy gives it to Ion, gets it back. 5 seconds on the shot clock for Rudy Fernandez. He'll have to take on the triple himself. Rudy Fernandez, nothing but net. Makes it a 1-point game. And now back on defense, switching with Maciulis to take Gist. But it's Botouridis into Gist now. Maciulis switching back again. Gist sends it out to Singleton, and Singleton with a triple. Starting where he left off last week. 26 points against Maccabi in the victory. Starts with a triple here. Now Rudy Fernandez trying to score again. Can't do so. Singleton with the rebound. Contributing at both ends, Chris Singleton. Going head-to-head with his former teammate, Anthony Randolph. Now, although it's Ion who's covering him at the moment, as Felding's shot this time misses. Maciulis, real fast pace to this game. Minute and a half to go in the first quarter. Randolph backs away from Singleton, his former teammate, to get the shot up, and it's good. First points for him. 18-20 is the score. Botouridis now to Felding. The game's leading scorer so far, joint with Maciulis on 9 points. Casey Rivers is a man who can score, particularly from long range. This time he does it from under the basket, pouncing on the loose ball after he missed the first shot. And back to 4 ahead again. Panathinaikos keep on restoring that advantage of theirs. And here's Rudy Fernandez as we see the 5 players on the floor for Madrid. None of them have committed a foul yet. Here's Llull driving, sends up the shot, no good. Rivers and the fast break. Rivers may look to pull up and shoot here. Instead he gives it to Botouridis as they take their time and set. The pick comes from Gist. Botouridis drives. Singleton can't get the rebound, and it's Real Madrid's ball. And we see a couple more rotations now for Real Madrid, with Othello Hunter and JC Carroll coming into the action. Whistles for Xavi Pascual in the Barclaycard Centre. A man they've seen a lot of over the years, these home fans. Xavi Pascual, very animated. So many battles with Real Madrid while he was coaching Barcelona. And a foul called on Botouridis. Into the final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Panathinaikos players going into a huddle. It's 4 Americans out there for Panathinaikos at the moment. Singleton, Felding, Rivers and Gist, joined by the one Greek, Botouridis. In fact, that was deemed to be a technical foul on Botouridis, stopping the fast break. So Llull will get the chance to shoot 3 free throws. The first of 2 he connects on, and the third as well. So now Real Madrid get possession as well, so it could become a 5-point play. And Real Madrid, with just a 1-point deficit now, have the chance to take the lead, and Randolph with the 3-point shot. That's not going to drop. Another whistle is called. This time I think it's on Othello Hunter, who's going to get the foul to his name. Llull now does go to the bench. JC Carroll coming into the action. Dante Draper as well. And Nick Calathis is back in the game for the final ticks of the first quarter. Calathis, guarded by Draper. And Draper fouls him. Still have fouls to give Real Madrid, so understandable foul for Draper, who's a very good defensive player. Now Felding, 6 seconds left in the quarter. Felding with a pass to Singleton. Might well have been a shot that got semi-tipped, came to Singleton. He's fouled, and he will go to the free throw line now. Anthony Randolph getting his first foul. Kalafis goes back to the bench with Nikos Papas coming into the action. That's a move anticipating defense, with Real Madrid going to get possession. 3.7 seconds on the clock after these free throws from Chris Singleton, who's contributing well so far. Singleton missing the second. It could work in Panathinaikos' favour. It takes time off the clock. Fernandez with the long three-point attempt at the end of the quarter is no good. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. Real Madrid 21, Panathinaikos 23. It's been a game very much of three-point shots so far. Real Madrid with 3 of 6. Panathinaikos connecting on 5 of 7. 15 of the 22 points scored by Panathinaikos so far coming with long-range strikes. 3 of those from James Felding, 1 apiece from Chris Singleton and Nick Kalafis. Real Madrid with 3, 2 from Machulis and 1 from Rudy Fernandez. That's been the way of it for both these teams so far. Leading point scorers, Machulis with 10. Felding with 9, sorry, Machulis with 9 as well. Been big contributions too on offense, as you'd expect from Nick Kalafis, with 3 assists, 4 points. And a game that Panathinaikos have been in charge of all the way. Never able to establish a comfortable lead though. Madrid keeping themselves well in contention in this one. I think we can expect is going to be close all the way. Just 2 points between them after this first quarter. One concern for Xavi Pascual is the fouls, with Dimitris Nichols already on 3, Kocharidis already on 2. And Nichols in particular, that's going to be frustrating that he picked up those 3 fouls early, because he's played an average of 24 minutes per game so far this season for Panathinaikos. Struggled to reach that tally tonight, so have to be extra minutes elsewhere. So, ready for the second quarter. First possession is Real Madrid's. They have Dante Draper, JC Carroll, Rudy Fernandez, Othello Hunter and Anthony Randolph in the game. As Randolph hands it to Rudy Fernandez. Rudy to Othello Hunter, looking for the pick and roll. Instead it's to Dante Draper. Draper driving and floats up the shot. Met physical challenge from Chris Singleton. Foul is called on him. 2 men who were teammates last season at Lokomotiv Kuban Krasnodar. Draper, like Anthony Randolph, moving to Madrid in the summer. Draper actually back in Madrid for his second spell with the club. He was here between 2012 and 2014 as well. Initially then went to Anadolu Efes before that season with Lokomotiv Kuban Krasnodar. Now back in Madrid and getting both the free throws down, so we're back to a tied game. Now Kalafis has Foxis on the left wing, hoping for a pass. Comes to Foxis, the veteran. Now Singleton with the spin. Pass into Casey Rivers, who scores. And the foul on Rudy Fernandez. We see Luka Doncic on the bench. Wonder if there's an injury concern for him. And there, the foul called actually on Dante Draper. And it's his second. So KC Rivers re-establishes the three-point advantage against his former club. A really smooth shooter, Rivers. Expect to see him from distance at some point in this game. So fellow Hunter takes the pass under the rim and shows good strength and balance to keep his footing and score. Kalafis gives it to Papas. Papas for Rivers. For Singleton. Papas once more. Nikos Papas getting away from J.C. Carroll. Sends a pass for Singleton. Shot clock running out. Just gets it away, and it's good for Chris Singleton. Under shot clock pressure. So smooth. Carroll with a good pass to Hunter. Good ball movement from Real Madrid. Sets up the three-point try. Draper cannot score, but there's a foul under the basket. This time on Fotsis, getting his first. Inbound to Othello Hunter. New this season in Madrid from Olympiacos. Now Draper looking to snake away from Kalafis. Great pass into Randolph over his shoulder, and Randolph is fouled as he attempts a shot. Great pass from Draper, opening up that opportunity. Kalafis with his second foul. Anthony Randolph named into the All EuroLeague second team last season, starting the new campaign in really good form as well. Leading the league in defensive rebounds and making it a one-point game with the free throws. Kalafis. Papas comes toward him. Kalafis now gives it to Papas. Fotsis, a veteran of the Panathinaikos team, can't score, but Singleton with the offensive board. Kalafis once more. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Kalafis is going to send up the alley-oop, beautifully done. And Singleton rises to connect with Kalafis' pass. Second alley-oop of the night. First one was a layup for Barousis. That one slammed down by Singleton. Now Randolph at the other end draws another foul, and he gets the and one. Randolph drawing plenty of contact and scoring. Here's the alley-oop from Kalafis. Beautiful pass, just where Singleton wanted it for an easy finish. Kalafis, another assist for him, and here's the foul on Fotsis, his second. That's a few players on 2 fouls now for Panathinaikos. Kalafis, Fotsis, Bokarides, and Nichols on 3. There's still more than 7 minutes of the second quarter to play. Little concern for Xavi Pascual there, managing his roster. Randolph completes the 3-point play, racing up to 7 points himself. As Kalafis now spins away from Draper. Gets a little pick from Barousis, who's back into the game, for Fotsis. And Papas now opened up for him, and he's good with a 3-point strike. Very talented player, Nikos Papas. And I mentioned, spent some of his time as a youth with Real Madrid's B team. He knows this city well, and getting himself on the board there. Now Hunter with a rare long-range try. No good, and Randolph with the foul as he contested the rebound with his former teammate Chris Singleton. That's a second foul for Anthony Randolph. Obviously, he felt it was an incidental tangle, but officials seeing it differently. There's Barousis now. Singleton. Papas. Driving away from J.C. Carroll, goes along the baseline. Nice pass into Singleton. Singleton will be frustrated he missed that, but Kalafis got the rebound. Barousis for three. Yanis Barousis. Always so comfortable with those shots. The man who turns 33 tomorrow. 3 being the theme as he hits that triple to give his team a 6-point lead. 7 of 10 now converted by Panathinaikos from long range as J.C. Carroll floats one up. Such a quick release, J.C. Carroll. Getting it back for a 4-point game, and Madrid will be anxious to ensure Panathinaikos don't get too comfortable with the lead here. Midway through the second quarter, Kalafis doesn't score this time. Fast break is on. J.C. Carroll with an almost identical shot to the one he connected with a few seconds earlier, misses this time. And here's Papas. Casey Rivers is lurking on the left wing, looking for a pass. Now he goes inside, and it's Barousis with the ball. Backing in to Othello Hunter. Barousis going up so strong with a nice left-handed finish. Great touch from Yanis Barousis. 6-point lead again. Now here's Rudy Fernandez with the quick strike. No good. Barousis with the rebound. Influential spell of play from Barousis at the moment. 5 points and a defensive rebound in quick succession for Yanis Barousis. And now he draws a foul as well. Othello Hunter picks up, I think that's his third, is it? Othello Hunter is going to go to the bench now. They're all going to the bench. Timeout is called. 4 minutes 38 remaining in the second period. And Panathinaikos continuing their sweet 3-point shooting night. 7 triples so far for the visiting team. Very impressive start. Yanis Barousis joining that particular party. There's the alley-oop again we saw from Kalafis to Singleton, perhaps the outstanding play of the night so far. Beautifully constructed. All on Kalafis, really. The pick and roll and the timing and the placement on the pass really made it simple for Singleton to go up and finish. Chris Singleton having another good night. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and the assist. He's leading the game so far in performance index rating. And we see that triple that I mentioned from Yanis Barousis. 1 of 7 scored by Panathinaikos so far. On course for some sort of club record. It must be in 3-point shooting so far. And then we had the 2-pointer from Barousis as well. 7 points for him. And then just before the timeout, he drew the foul from Othello Hunter, which has seen Gustavo Ayon back into the action. It's turned over again. Second time we've seen that from inbounds from Panathinaikos, and Llull taking advantage. There have been some changes by both coaches during the timeout. Kalafis, Papas, Gist, Barousis and Rivers on the floor now for Panathinaikos as Llull gets called for a foul, which will be his first of the night. The 5 on the floor for the home team. Llull, Draper in the backcourt, Rudy Fernandez, Trey Tompkins for the first time, and Gustavo Ayon. Here's Papas driving, nice pass back to James Gist. Gist can't get his first triple of the night. Now Sergio Llull just sprints, stops, pulls up, shoots. 3 points up from Sergio Llull, and timeout called by Panathinaikos, making it look so easy. Look at the smile on the face of Sergio Llull, such an infectious player. He just loves playing the game. He loves doing this: run with the ball, stop, pull up, hit the triple. We saw the fast break from him previously. 5 points in a hurry from Llull, both running the floor. That's what he loves to do and what he's so good at. And Sergio Llull pulling it back to a 1-point game, and that's what Real Madrid can do. They're so explosive on offense. Even when you think you've got a decent lead against them, bang, they come back. Llull had a rather ordinary start to the game. Missed a few shots earlier, but hitting his stride now, up to 8 points. And a 1-point distance between these teams. Just take this opportunity to remind you of the results elsewhere in this Turkish Airlines EuroLeague round 7. Anadolu Efes triumphant last night against Unix Kazan in a high-scoring thriller, 104-99. Another thriller, game of the week, Rosa Bamberg 78, Crvena Zvezda 79, Maccabi Fox 87, Fenerbahce 77. And the other game last night, ES7 Milan 88, Baskonia 76. We're back with the action here. As Kalathis finds Gist. Kalathis, nice move, kicks it out now for Rivers. Rivers well short on that one. He's a very good three-point shooter, and the way Panathinaikos are sinking their triples tonight, we thought that was going to drop, but it didn't, and it's with Real Madrid. Trey Tompkins thinks about the three-pointer, instead gives it to Rudy. Now Draper inside, misses from under the baseline, gets it back, and Llull is hot. Sergio Llull, 8 points in quick succession from Llull now, including 2 triples, and it's Real Madrid's first lead for a long time. Might well be their first lead of the whole night, in fact, but it doesn't last for long. Kalathis straight back with a triple for Panathinaikos. This fun, high-scoring game, it really is. As Llull looks to reply again for the home team, trailing by 1. 13 triples we've seen from these two teams so far. Now Rudy Fernandez, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pulls up with the jumper. Smooth as you like from Rudy. Gives the lead back to Real Madrid. Could well be a pattern that we're going to see repeated, this lead being exchanged as Barousis draws the foul, looking for the alley-oop layup. Pass from Kalathis. Barousis getting the foul. As Singleton comes back in for Gist, and JC Carroll back in for Dante Draper. And I wonder if there is an injury problem for Luka Doncic. We've not seen anything of him since he started the game. Got the first 6.5 minutes under his belt, but nothing since. And now Yanis Barousis misses the first free throw. Barousis with 7 points tonight, having perhaps his best game of the season so far for Panathinaikos, and he ties the scores with that free throw as Kalathis checks out and Feldin comes in. So he and Papas will be in the backcourt for the visiting team. Here's Llull, red hot at the moment. Sends the pass to Ion, who wasn't quite anticipating it, but able to get the shot away, and that's going to count. Ion sending the shot up, which had already hit the glass before it was swatted away. So here's Papas, Feldin in the left corner. Gives it back to Papas. Rivers is over in the right corner, being guarded by Rudy Fernandez. They'll maybe try to get it to him. Instead, it's Papas with the nice shot. Looking very confident tonight, Nikos Papas. His 5th point. And hit both his shots so far. As another foul is called. It's on Papas off the ball on JC Carroll. Carroll so quick, coming off the edge to try and receive the pass. As he was fouled, he'll go to the free throw line. Normally such a great shooter, JC Carroll. Ranked 10th in the league, coming into this round in three-point shooting. In terms of conversion rate, 50% of his three-point tries connected with. JC Carroll giving Real Madrid the lead with that free throw. Now Papas driving again. Papas going all the way off the rim, can't score. Ion gets the rebound, and here's Llull again, doing what he loves to do, running. Now the pass to Ion. Now Tompkins, it's wide open. Trey Tompkins with another three-point shot, and Real Madrid's biggest lead of the night, 4 points. They're turning on the firepower in this second quarter. Real Madrid already with 27 points in this quarter. His Barousis is turning around, and it just drops in the end for Yanis Barousis. High scoring nature of the game continues with a minute to play in the second quarter. Carroll coming to receive the pass from Llull, losing his balance, but gets it back to Tompkins, who hits another. This three-point shooting is crazy tonight. Yet another for Real Madrid. I think it's 7 for them and 8 for Panathinaikos. Could be another. It is Felding with his 4th. And we head to timeout. What a game. 100 points scored already. James Felding with his 4th triple. It's raining points in the Barclaycard Centre, and long may that continue. Great game to watch. Maybe not one for the coaches to enjoy, but certainly for us, it's not half bad. As we see that some of the points recently, Trey Tompkins got the triple, and then he got another. Barousis and Papas on the mark for Panathinaikos. We see again Tompkins with one of his three-pointers. And then just before the timeout, the last point was another triple. Felding. As we see the comparison of the former teammates, Sergio Llull and Yanis Barousis, 23 points between them. 4 of 6 field goals from Barousis, 4 of 8 from Llull, but that's a little bit deceptive because he started off very cold and it's become hot since then. And there's one of Llull's recent strikes in this quarter. And here's Barousis doing what he does at the other end. 2 players who were together winning the title for Real Madrid 18 months ago in this very arena. Tonight on opposing sides, and remember at stake is second place in Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, a share of second place with Darüşşafaka, who a couple of hours ago became the first team this season to beat CSKA Moscow, the reigning champion. Real Madrid, Ion, lovely ball movement. Rudy to Ion, to Tompkins, this time under the basket. 8 points in no time at all from Trey Tompkins. Xavi Pascual not keen on the defense from his team on that possession. And it's Tompkins making it a 4-point game. 8 points for him, and look at that, 32 scored by Real Madrid. Coming into this game, we wondered whether Panathinaikos' defense could slow down Real Madrid. Not one bit of it so far. I mean, they did at first, in fact, with Real Madrid. I think it was just 1 field goal in the first 4 minutes. But they've exploded in the second quarter, and look at Xavi Pascual frustrated with what he's seen defensively. There's 25 seconds on the clock in this second quarter. Here we see the basket again that just took us to the timeout. Trey Tompkins, a man who's not seen too much playing time so far this season, only 45 minutes, in fact, over the first 6 games. Didn't play at all in 2 of them. So in the 4 games he did play, averaging just 11 minutes, and he only scored 14 points in those 4 games. He's already got 8 tonight. All of them in the last couple of minutes or so. Taking Real Madrid up to the 4-point lead. So time for certainly one more possession for Panathinaikos, maybe one more for Real Madrid, depending on how much time Panathinaikos take off the clock. And the visitors have Papas, Calafes, Rivers, Singleton and Feldin, and it's kicked out for Papas. They're just going to take a bit more time off the clock. Papas could have shot there, and instead they'll run it down. And now Rivers, Singleton, 3 seconds. Tompkins gets the foul called on him. As Singleton tries to drive past him. So that'll send Singleton to the free throw line. James Gist comes in for Nick Calafes. Again, anticipating Panathinaikos will be on defense next. Remember, at the end of the first quarter, exactly the same scenario. Free throws for Panathinaikos with little time left, and they missed the second, which actually stopped Real Madrid from having any real time to use. Doesn't mean they'll want to miss, but if they do, it is an advantage. Missed the first, though. Singleton certainly didn't want to do that. 1 of 3 from the foul line tonight now. Chris Singleton gets the second down. So Real Madrid with 3.5 seconds, and they call the timeout to draw something up. Pablo Lasso now in discussion with his assistants over what he might plan. And both teams reaching the half-century mark in the opening half of what's been a highly entertaining game. Highly entertaining Turkish Airlines EuroLeague season. Such a high-scoring campaign so far. Borne out by another couple of the games tonight. Darussafaka with 91 points against CSKA Moscow to defeat the reigning champions, who mustered 83. Žalgiris Kaunas 87 on the board against against Galatasaray's 75. Žalgiris triumphant there. But if there's one team you can rely on for a defensive battle, it's Olympiacos. They came out on top 59-52, the lowest scoring game of the season so far, I think, against Barcelona. And these two teams almost surpassing that total in the first half alone. 59-52 in Piraeus earlier. It's 53-50 here in Madrid, and we still got 1 possession left for the home team, who have Rudy Fernandez, Sergio Llull, Trey Tompkins, Anthony Randolph, and JC Carroll on the floor. Here's Llull, it'll be him for the 3-point try. Misses, and Gist gets the rebound to end this first half, and a highly entertaining first half it has been as well. We're going to hear from Sergio Llull, who has been the outstanding player in the second quarter, certainly not on top form in the first, but in the second, Llull was the man with 13 points of his team's 53, including a couple of 3-point strikes, also 2 assists for Sergio Llull. And we're going to hear from him in just a moment. It's been an excellent first half for both teams offensively. Total of 103 points scored. And look at that 3-point shooting. 7 of 13 for Real Madrid, 9 of 14 for Panathinaikos. 16 points scored, 16 3-pointers have been scored. And so now let's hear from that man, Sergio Llull. Here he is.
Certainly a great reaction, but maybe you have to improve some aspects, so many 3-point shots, open shots for the Greens.
Yeah, it's true. I think in offense we are playing well, we are moving the ball well. While in defense, they are shooting threes alone, so they have a lot of shooters. We have to improve in that.
Thank you.
Turkish Airlines. 7 days. Bwin. And Siesta. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
So we're ready for the second half in the Barclaycard Centre, and far be it from me to disagree with those esteemed coaches, Mr. Lasso and Mr. Pasquale, but may say that certainly don't want their wishes to come through. Both of them, of course, as coaches do, focusing on the defence, wanting defensive improvement. We don't, do we? We want another 100-point half from these two teams. It's been hugely entertaining so far. Just one concern for Panathinaikos is the fouls, particularly with Nichols on 3, Bocharidis, Fotsis, Kalathis all on 2. And that's something that Pasquale will be having to keep an eye on. The two coaches want defensive improvement from their teams in the second half. We don't, and we're going to find out. The second half underway now, and one notable aspect is that for Real Madrid, Luka Doncic is back on the floor. Someone we hadn't seen in the second quarter. Wondered if he was carrying a bit of a problem, an injury. He landed heavily at one point on his shoulder during the first half, but he's out there now. The 5 men from Madrid are Doncic, Maciulis, Reyes, Ion and Llull. For Panathinaikos, who have their first possession now, it's Kalathis, Rivers, Gist, Felding and Singleton. And here is Kalathis, guarded by Luka Doncic. Kalathis gets it back. Patient first possession. Gist gives it back to Kalathis again. Now he drives and gets a route to the basket. Away from Ion. Skip past him. Nick Kalathis. And scores. First possession of the half. First points of the half. Now Luka Doncic gets an open shot for 3. Air ball for Luka Doncic. Unlike him, there's Kalathis in transition now. Managed to get on Jonas Maciulis here, who gets blocked by Singleton. Kalathis on Ion once more. That worked well for Panathinaikos last time. This time Felding on to Gist. Gist driving inside. Draws the foul from Felipe Reyes. See Gist going inside there. Reyes reaching in. That's only the first foul on Felipe Reyes, but as Gist was going up to shoot, he'll have the chance now to give his team the lead. James Gist has been 68% free throw shooter so far this season, 11 of 16 coming into tonight's game. And he gets his 3rd and 4th points of the night to give Panathinaikos the advantage. Doncic to Reyes. Reyes going up against Gist. The shot's no good. Huddle of bodies trying to get the loose ball. Eventually Kalathis does. Nice move from Felding. And he travels, does he? No. It's a foul instead. You see Singleton there. Was fouled, I think, by Reyes. He was. It's his 2nd in quick succession and 2nd of the night. Kalathis to Felding. 4 triples already for him. Kalathis, 8 seconds on the shot clock for Panathinaikos. Kicks it to the corner. And another foul on Real Madrid, this time on Jonas Maciulis, the Lithuanian. Foul on Maciulis, guarding Singleton, who has the ball now. Comes away from him. I don't think that was an intended pass to Kalathis, but it got to him. Oh, the alley-oop, how about that? Nick Kalathis to James Gist. We've seen a lot of those from James Gist in the past, and he just knows where that basket is. So explosive, James Gist. And it's a good run from Panathinaikos. 6 points for the visiting team at the start of this second half. And a turnover as the pass from Reyes goes astray. Here it is again. Threading the needle was Kalathis, and going up high was Gist. Another of those alley-oops from Kalathis. Saw one, a nice one to Singleton in the first half. Gist had a bit more to do on that occasion. That's another great pass from Calafis. Feldin can't quite convert under the basket, and Llull on the break. No look pass to Machulis. Machulis off the glass, no good, and it bounces behind. And it's going to be Panathinaikos ball. Randolph arguing to the contrary. Randolph coming into the game for Reyes, who picked up those fouls, and the officials discussing this one. Let's see if we can tell here. So hard for officials to see when there's so many hands around the ball. Yeah, it is Panathinaikos ball. They confirmed the first decision. And there's a foul there on Gist, blocking Doncic. Doncic taking a really heavy hit from James Gist as Calafis looked to escape on the screen. Look at this, from the right of the picture. Gist, bang. Doncic goes down. And so Madrid, a slow start to this second half from the home team. Yet to score in 2 minutes 20. They'll have possession. Doncic to Ion to Llull. Is Doncic, scoreless so far. Randolph, there it is, first point of the half for Real Madrid, and in keeping with this game, it's a triple from Anthony Randolph. His first of those for the night, takes him up to 10 points, and the game is tied. Calafis kicks it out. KC Rivers responds in kind. The 10th three-pointer of the night for Panathinaikos. The first from Rivers. Don't bet on it being the last, though. Rivers excels at long-range shooting. I remember in particular for Real Madrid, the semi-final of the title-winning campaign here against Fenerbahce. I think he hit 3 or 4 in quick succession in that game at a key moment. And after Real Madrid can't make anything of that possession, here go Panathinaikos again. It's Rivers. Don't rule out him taking on another three-point shot here. Instead he drives to the basket, this time off the rim, no good. Llull grabs the rebound, and he's in fast break now. Feldin reaching in. The foul is on James Feldin, his first of the night. He remains the leading point scorer for his team with 12, all of them in three-pointers. Just doing enough to convince the officials he was making a play for the ball there. And Real Madrid, 3 points down, will have possession. Luka Doncic, a rising star of European basketball. In fact, let's go further than that. He's the rising star of world basketball. Luka Doncic, 17 years old. And Llull to the glass, just finds his route to the basket. Getting it back to a one-point game. Llull, the leading scorer out there tonight with 15 now. 6 minutes to play in the third. Calafis gets the screen, spins, hands it up. One-handed, beautifully constructed. Singleton setting a perfect screen. There's a foul on Rivers, getting his hand inadvertently in Jonas Machulis' face. And that's a first foul for KC Rivers. We see here the basket from Llull. They pulled it back to a one-point game before Calafis made it 3 again. JC Carroll checks in as Llull goes again from downtown and hits it again. 4 of 4. Sergio Llull now to tie it up. As Calafis now snakes away from JC Carroll and does what he did just a few seconds previously again. Calafis laying it up to score. Every time Real Madrid come back, Calafis is restoring the advantage at the moment. The foul was called there for Feldin to go to the free throw line now. So Panathinaikos back with a 3-point advantage. Feldin, it's the first time he's scored anything that wasn't a three-pointer. Kalafis, guarded by Ion and Carroll. Under the basket is Singleton. By the time he landed, he was surrounded though, so he has to send it back out. And it's turned over. This time, Madrid getting the ball back. We see there that the replay we saw just before that was the reason for the last technical foul that was scored by Feldin. Sergio Llull kicking the ball away in frustration. Here's Llull now throwing the ball perfectly into the net. Stick to the basketball, Sergio, forget the football. He is on fire now. Really slow start from Llull, but he's raced up to 20 points. As it's turned over, and look at Llull on camera there, gesturing the fans to turn up the noise levels for the team. Despite his explosive offense, this was the last basket from Llull. How does he get that shot away? The harder they look, the more easily Llull downs them, it seems. He's up to 20 points, but his team's still trailing as we go into this timeout. High-scoring nature of the game continuing. Still 4.5 minutes to play in the third quarter, and already both these teams in the 60s. And look at Llull's figures. 3 of 4 from downtown, 4 of 8 two-pointers. He only got 1 of his first 4. Been less of a provider so far tonight. Just the 2 assists. Kalafis is doing that job for Panathinaikos. 8 assists and 13 points. 4 of them have come recently. Nick Kalafis and Sergio Llull, as we always knew they would, playing a big role for their teams. 2 of the best point guards, without doubt, in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. And they've been the 2 outstanding players on the floor tonight. Certainly that's borne out by the stats, performance index rating. Top 2 performers so far. Llull 19, Kalafis 20. So, back from the timeout. Madrid with possession. Has Llull, Machulis, Randolph, Carroll, Ion in the game. Here's JC Carroll. Gives it back to Llull. Up against Kalafis, driving to the baseline. Randolph can't tip it in. Fast break for Nick Kalafis. Kalafis now slows it down, pulls it back in. Singleton looking to move towards the basket, gives it to Feldin. 8, 7, 6 seconds. Whistle blown. And I think that's a foul on Casey Rivers. And the change for Real Madrid sees Rudy Fernandez come back into the game. It was actually on James Gist, that foul. You see now Rudy for Carroll, Fernandez. Llull is open in the corner, and that can only mean one thing. Nick Kalafis just looking on in abject frustration. What can we do? He's thinking when the ball comes to Sergio Llull, he's got another. He's up to 23 points, and Real Madrid back in the lead. Back and forth this game. I expect that to continue. Panathinaikos going with the big lineup now, with Singleton joined by Yanis Barousis, who was looking to give him the ball there. Fernandez called for the foul on Singleton under the basket. That's the first foul on Rudy Fernandez. So Singleton has the chance to level it up now. 3 of 5 from the foul line tonight, Chris Singleton. If he makes it 4 of 6, we'll have a tied game. That's exactly what he does. Here's Llull, who's just so irrepressible. The energy levels of this man are really quite remarkable. Non-stop, Sergio Llull. Guarded by Kalathis, gets away from him and Barousis, kicks it over to Randolph. He steps inside and looks to go up strong. Barousis met him though, nothing wrong with that. Good defense from Barousis. And Kalathis now can look to give Panathinaikos the lead. Finds Barousis. Barousis with the hook shot, no good. Ion with the rebound. Rudy Fernandez in transition. Pulls it back out. Still plenty of time on the clock. Rudy Fernandez still dribbling all over the place. Rudy, 5 seconds on the clock now. Sends up the three-point try. It's short and Barousis has the rebound. Real Madrid's offensive production just drying up a little in the last minute or so. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Kalathis off the glass. No, Barousis is blocked. Gets it back, but denied this time and fouls Randolph as he tries to regain possession. Look at Pablo Lasso, so animated on the sideline. Big block on the shot, Barousis. I think it was Ion who met him at the rim. And then Barousis denied a second time. This was Barousis stopping Randolph, but then at the other end, Ion stopping Barousis. And then from the foul, Randolph will be able to go to the line now, and the fans turning up the volume for Real Madrid. We've seen some good basketball already this season. This is the 4th home game for Real Madrid. Beat Olympiacos 83-65, lost a thriller 87-91 against Baskonia, and beat Galatasaray in another high-scoring, exciting game 90-81. And guess what? We got another high-scoring game here. Those free throws from Randolph restoring the advantage for Real Madrid. Papas into the action for the first time in the second half, having a good game so far. Barousis battling away and drawing the foul from Ion. Gustavo Ion picking up his second. Nobody really in foul trouble for Real Madrid, nobody on more than 2 fouls. Panathinaikos has both Gist and Nichols on 3. And Barousis will try his luck from the free throw line, 1 of 2 from that range so far tonight. And here is Yanis Barousis. A man who's seen limited playing time really so far this season. There's 99 minutes, averaging around 16 minutes a game. And he's going to exceed that tonight for sure. Gets the second to go down. Already up to his season average in minutes tonight, Barousis. 1-point game. Randolph, bullet pass inside to Ion, who's got such a good touch from that range. Makes it a 3-point game. Quiet night of offensive production so far for Ion, only his 6th point there. As Papas kicks it to Barousis. Barousis short off the glass under real pressure. Ion with the rebound. Llull in transition. Llull to Rudy Fernandez for 3. It's short. Rivers pulls it down. Papas, he'll lead the fast break now. And he draws the foul from J.C. Carroll. So Nikos Papas will go to the foul line now. Exactly a minute remaining in this third quarter. It's been such a fast pace, this game. Both teams playing such quick transition offense. And that obviously has contributed to the heavy scoring. As before the free throw, Kalathis coming back in and Feldin going to the bench. Papas missing the first. We see the last basket again from Ion. Good recognition from Randolph that Ion had a little bit of space. Papas gets the second to go down. So the last 2 trips to the line, Panathinaikos have made 1 of 2. And it's Llull once more. Barely ever takes a breather, Sergio Llull. Out there almost the entire game. Finds Randolph. Llull. Still Sergio Llull drives in and makes it look easy. The 2-pointer this time laid up by Llull to make it a 4-point game. Papas leading the offense for Panathinaikos, finds Singleton. Now Calathes bounces it to Barousis, who goes up strong. Randolph went up with him and did enough. Excuse me, it was Ion with the good defense. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Don't be surprised if Llull hangs on to it and then unloads the triple and hits the triple on the buzzer. We've seen it so many times from him. Instead, it's Carroll who'll try to do so. No. And the rebound from Singleton. No time for Panathinaikos to do anything with it. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. A little less high scoring than the previous 2. But still, we can't really complain with a game that has a scoreline of 72-68 for Real Madrid with 10 minutes to play. Stick around, it's a good one here in the Barclaycard Centre. Let's look back now on some of those big moments from the 3rd quarter. Nick Calathes was really to the fore in the early minutes as Panathinaikos started strong to get ahead. Remember, they were trailing at the break, Panathinaikos, but got the advantage with Calathes scoring and assisting. Gist with that big alley-oop. But Real Madrid soon came back. Anthony Randolph hitting a triple, Casey Rivers doing the same. And of course, Sergio Llull has never been far away from the action, going up to 25 points. Sergio Llull now in this game, making himself the leading scorer in this game and on course to become the leading scorer of all players this week in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Keith Langford with 25 points for Unix Kazan. Yesterday, that's the number that Llull has now. The 3 points continue to drop, but more for Real Madrid. In that quarter, they've tied it in that respect now. 10 apiece for these 2 teams in triples. Llull, a big contribution to that for Real Madrid. It was just the 1 triple in that quarter for Panathinaikos. That was from Rivers. So Madrid succeeding in doing what their coach Pablo Lasso had asked of them, as we heard from him in his half-time interview, and that was stemming the flood of 3-pointers from Panathinaikos. So here we go, 10 minutes to play in Madrid. The home team leading by 4, looking to move into 2nd place. Joint 2nd place alongside Darüşşafaka in this Turkish Airlines EuroLeague regular season. And of course, a boost in morale for Madrid tonight would be ideal ahead of their next game in just 2 days' time, which happens to be against FC Barcelona, El Clásico. Now here's Llull again, missing the shot, can you believe it? Which allows Calathes to bring it forward for Panathinaikos, who start the quarter with Calathes, Papas, Rivers, Gist and Singleton. Here's Papas, Singleton's open, Gist going up against Randolph. 4 seconds on the shot clock, Gist spinning one way and the other. Good block from Anthony Randolph. Staying with it, stayed with the play, and now Rudy Fernandez at the other end gets the triple. That's a dagger for Real Madrid. The block shot at one end and Rudy hits the triple at the other, and now they're leading the 3-point battle for the first time tonight. 7-point game, the biggest lead for Real Madrid. No foul despite Llull going to ground. Behind the back pass from Calathes, and Gist with the big slam. two-handed dunk from James Gist after it opened up for him. Making sure everyone saw that finish, James Gist. Panathinaikos by no means finished in this game just yet. Here it is again. Gist gets past one man and boom! We had a EuroLeague slam dunk contest. I think James Gist would be pretty near the list of favourites to win it. And here's Rudy Fernandez driving inside, getting the foul, and it might be on Gist, I think. And that's his fourth. There we see Gist reaching in. So Gist skating on thin ice now. Wonder if it'll be time to bring back Demetrius Nichols, who's not seen any action since very early on, after picking up 3 fouls. Othello Hunter's back in the action and getting the pass immediately from Llull. Now Randolph met by Singleton, 2 former Lokomotiv Kuban Krasnodar players. Singleton with the foul, his third. It could be a problem for Panathinaikos. Singleton on 3, Nichols 3, Gist 4 now. Still 8.5 minutes to play. Here's Randolph, gives it to Hunter under the basket. Can't find the pass, and Papas on the fast break. Papas sends it out to Singleton, who likes the three-point strike. This time, though, he goes inside and scores. Randolph punching it out from through the net, but that will count. And Panathinaikos have responded well after going 7 down. Come back to make it a 3-point game. Madrid with Llull, Carroll, Fernandez, Hunter and Randolph. There is Sergio Llull, the tireless Sergio Llull. Foul call. He wanted it to be allowed to continue there, Sergio Llull, driving through the gap. And it's another on Singleton. So he's on 4 now. Both he and Gist. And Foxes is going to come into the game for Singleton as a consequence. Singleton going to the bench and Fox is back out into the action. 3-point game. Sergio Llull trying to get away from Gist, and Llull floats it up. Othello Hunter could have had the rebound. There's a problem here for James Gist, who stayed down, see, under the basket there after contesting that shot from Llull. Gist landing badly and he's hurt. James Gist is not the kind of man who stays down for anything. A concern here for Panathinaikos. Llull taking this opportunity to get a break. Let's see if we can see what happened to Gist here. Going to the basket, and there. Groin, is it? I think he's feeling his left groin. Just overextending there, and look at his pain. Holding the groin, going to ground, and that could rule James Gist out for 2 or 3 weeks if it's a groin strain. I mentioned that Real Madrid has a big game coming up against none other than Barcelona. Same can be said, exactly the same thing for Panathinaikos. Their big game coming up against their big rivals on Friday against Olympiacos. Look, here we see it again. Gist just overstretching in pursuit of Llull and hurting his left groin. And I wonder if he was just inhibited slightly because he's on 4 fouls. Gist, knowing that he didn't want to foul out, so perhaps just a little more tentative with his movement, a little unnatural with his movement. And we see now the officials right in front of my commentary position here, calling for a stretcher for James Gist. This doesn't look good at all. This is really bad news for Panathinaikos. Gist is going to be helped off here. Xavi Pascual looking on as Gist hobbles down the tunnel. And let's just hope that James Gist will be back very soon. Such an important player for Panathinaikos. And such a well-liked player, I think, by neutral fans around the league. If you're not a Panathinaikos fan even, a lot of people out there are James Gist fans. So let's hope he is not out of action for too long, but with a groin strain, if that's what it is, could well miss a few games. So after that delay, we're ready to resume. Yanis Barousis is back in for Gist. This game still very much in the balance. Remember, Foxes just came into the action for Singleton as well, who's on 4 fouls. So let's get started again. Dante Draper deputising for Llull at the moment. Carroll was coming for the pass, but got jostled off it, and Draper chose to go himself. Couldn't score. Kalafis. Kalafis driving. It's the foul of Dante Draper. Fans don't like it, but Draper gets called. His third it'll be. There's Draper reaching in. It's only the first foul on Real Madrid in this quarter. And here's Foxes, Kalafis. Been a while since we saw a three-pointer from Panathinaikos. Let's throw that one out there with them trailing by 3, and Feldin in possession. Feldin driving inside this time, can't score. And it's, despite that inventive effort from Papas, it's a shot clock turnover. Feldin didn't touch the rim with his attempt. Barousis getting a whack in the face. But big Yanis will be okay to continue. Early, not so nice birthday present for the man who turns 33 tomorrow. A black eye to go home with. Here's Rudy Fernandez. Pulls it back out. Hunter and Randolph under the basket. He gives it to Randolph, who's caught by Papas as he lands. Nikos Papas picks up his second foul of the game. There's Randolph going up for it. Papas landing with him. Panathinaikos now on 4 fouls in the quarter, so the next one will send Madrid to the line. Here's Hunter. Draper still leading from point guard. Kicks it out to Rudy Fernandez. Real intense defense from Panathinaikos. Rudy gets it semi-blocked by Feldin. Kalafis now in transition. Feldin wants it, has it. Followed by Rudy Fernandez. Feldin gets the screen, sends it over to Kalafis. Not the great pass. Kalafis having to bend down to pick it up. 5 seconds on the shot clock for Barousis, who does so well to get away from a fellow Hunter. 1-point game now it is, after that basket from Yanis Barousis, who goes up to 13 points on his return to Madrid with Panathinaikos. And now we're going to see a magic moment from this game, and it's going to be the alley-oop we saw earlier on from Nick Kalafis, who's been dishing the assists all night. Here it is, the 7 days magic moment of this encounter. Kalafis, beautiful pass to Singleton for the finish. All about the pass, such touch from Kalafis. Real finesse from the Panathinaikos point guard. And that is our 7 days magic moment. Kalafis to Singleton for the alley-oop for Panathinaikos. And they'll hope there's some more of those. The visiting team trailing by 1 with 6 minutes to play. And a game that is very much in the balance, has been all the way. At no stage in this game has either team really established a lead that made you think, yeah, they've got this one in the bag. Far, far from it. Outstanding performances from the 2-point guards. Kalafis with 13 points and 8 assists, and Llull with 25 points. Plenty of help in the paint as well, with 12 points from Randolph for Madrid, 13 from Singleton and Barousis apiece for Panathinaikos. The action resumes, 1 point in it. Carroll takes on the three-point quick-fire strike, no good. Barousis gets the rebound, his 7th, moving towards a double-double. And Panathinaikos can take the lead on this possession. Felding, guarded by Rudy Fernandez. Nikos Papas, kind of player who can make anything happen. Papas, just 3 seconds on the shot clock. Turned over. Carroll on the fast break for Madrid. That gives it to Randolph, who's up against Fotsis, gets turned. Randolph, ooh, nearly turned over. And it is turned over, in fact. Carroll getting the last touch. Papas with the defense. Good job on defense from Nikos Papas. This game has really tightened up in terms of point scoring. It's just 11 points scored in the first 5 minutes of this final quarter. Papas now for the triple, no. I thought that was dropping, but it didn't. Just a little too much on it. Exactly 5 minutes to play at the Barclaycard Centre. Low-scoring fourth quarter so far, but these two teams have got it within them to explode for points. Not that now, though, as Randolph misses again. This time the three-point try. Kalathis for Panathinaikos. Gets the screen from Barousis and glides inside. Makes it look so easy. It's so smooth, Nick Kalathis. And that gives Panathinaikos the advantage. 75-76, they lead. Dante Draper to J.C. Carroll under heavy pressure from Papas, but he gets it away, and Madrid back in front. J.C. Carroll's had a pretty quiet night scoring, only 5 points for him. That could quickly go up a lot. Kalathis trying to score the triple, can't. Rudy Fernandez. Madrid slowing it down, and there's a whistle blown. Foul. No, it's not a foul. I think the official just seeing some blood. Rudy Fernandez. So he's going to have to get that covered up. And Pablo Lasso, Madrid coach, taking the opportunity to change things up. Coming back in is Trey Tompkins and Sergio Llull. As you remember, Tompkins exploded with a quick 8 points in the second quarter. Can he do that again? There's Llull. He's never far from an explosion when he's around. Pass to Hunter this time from Llull. Off the rim from Barousis. When it touches the rim, you can swat it away, as Barousis did. And here's Kalathis. His team trailing by 1. Papas with a nice move. Pass to Fotsis. Kalathis under the baseline. James Felding with another triple. He'd gone cold. Heats it up again. First in a while for Felding. I think it might even be his first of the half. I think all his 4 triples coming in the first half. Now the alley-oop from Llull to Hunter. Beautifully constructed by Real Madrid to bring it back to a tied game. 3 minutes to play. The triple from Felding, answered by the alley-oop from Llull to Hunter. What a good game this has been. Barousis goes down on the floor, but no foul. Felding with the move. And with the shot, no good. Barousis can't tip it in. Tompkins with the rebound. And the pass for Llull, who's going to drive. He loses it. Kalathis, fast break. 3-on-3 for Panathinaikos. Felding sends it back out to Papas. Breathless excitement at the Barclaycard Centre with Barousis going up against Tompkins. 8 seconds, foul on Tompkins. So Barousis draws the foul for the 5th time tonight, but only the 2nd of the quarter on Real Madrid. Oh, what a thrilling climax we are building to here. Ion back into the action for Madrid for Othello Hunter. Here's Felding to Barousis, to Fotzis, to Kalafis. Good ball movement from Panathinaikos here. Papas driving in. He's fouled by Carroll. There's J.C. Carroll's second. And as he was attempting to score in the process of shooting, Papas will go to the free throw line. Nikos Papas, 1 of 2 from the line tonight. Been impressed with Papas today. He played with real intensity. Doesn't always show up in the stats, and he's had a fairly quiet game statistically, but he's added a lot of energy to his team, Nikos Papas. And he sends Panathinaikos in front now with the free throw. Real Madrid gets Rudy Fernandez back into the game as Draper goes to the bench. And here's Llull, 2 minutes to play, 2-point game. Ion takes off, and off the glass from Gustavo Ion. Nick Kalafis back in possession for Panathinaikos, and let me remind you, last 2 games for Panathinaikos have gone to overtime. No surprise if it's 3 in a row for the Greens here. Papas sends up the shot, but the foul is called. It's turned over as Barousis comes back in for Fotzis, who sits out. Remember, Panathinaikos having to play these final minutes without James Gist. He hobbled away with a groin injury a few minutes ago. Here's Ion, minute and a half to play. Game tied at 81. Sergio Llull. Llull with the score and one. Such effort from Sergio Llull. Listen to the plaudits of the crowd as well. Will not be denied. Sergio Llull drawing the foul from Nick Kalafis. These 2 men have been so important in the game in the point guard position. And with that lead now, Real Madrid brings in their top defensive backcourt player, Dante Draper, back into the action as we go to timeout. So, 3-point game. 81 seconds to play. It's a 3-point game because of this. Llull guiding it into the net. Such a wholehearted play. You've got to love him, Sergio Llull. I don't care if you're even a Barcelona fan, you've got to like the way Sergio Llull plays his basketball. And the way he's playing at the moment, he'll be up there in the consideration for the season MVP if he can carry on this form. Been really inspirational for Real Madrid, and certainly tonight he has. 28 points from Sergio Llull, including 4 3-pointers in a game that was 3-point crazy in the first half, less so in the second. Still 11 apiece from these 2 teams. And how can Panathinaikos look to respond now? No doubt Kalafis will be at the heart of everything. Don't discount James Felding with 3-point shooting as well, and the inside game of Chris Singleton was crucial last week. Yanis Barousis as well on the floor. The 5 men that Panathinaikos have are Felding, Kalafis, Singleton, Barousis and Papas. Here they are with possession, trailing by 3. Felding with 5 triples already tonight. Guarded by Rudy Fernandez, gives it to Barousis. Felding is going to take on the shot, and he's going to nail it! James Felding, how hot is he tonight from distance? Had no hesitation whatsoever as the pass comes back to him. just got half a second, if that, to get away from Trey Tompkins, who was guarding him, and as smooth as you like, James Feldine hits a triple. Leading scorer for Panathinaikos with 19 now, and we got a tied game. James Feldine has had a good season for Panathinaikos so far. Not a spectacular one. 42 points in 6 games, averaging 7 points a game coming in. He's shot way above those averages so far tonight. James Feldine, with his three-point shooting, has now got the highest scoring game of his EuroLeague career, in fact. 17 was the high before this triple. Well, that last triple that we saw anyway from him, which was taking him up to 19 points. With Feldine in his 33rd game in EuroLeague. His highest scoring now. Tying the game, most importantly. And Nichols comes back in. Interesting move from Xavi Pascual. Demetrius Nichols, who we've seen nothing of since the first quarter when he ran up 3 quick fouls, comes back into the action. Madrid has Llull here. Dancing around that three-point line. Now he pulls it back, and it's smooth from Llull. Sergio Llull with 2 more. 30 points for the night now from Sergio Llull. 40 seconds left, 2 points the advantage. Feldine, again guarded by Rudy Fernandez. Oh, the pass is loose and it's taken away by Ion. Real Madrid can just run time off the clock here. If they score with this possession, it will be a 2-point game. Crucial possession. Can Llull keep it in his own hands and win it for his team? Carroll's on the left wing. Tompkins on the right, but Llull may take this on himself. Sergio Llull driving now. Step back for the win. No. Off the basket. Oh, but J.C. Carroll with the hustle play. Kept it in bounds. Threw it against the legs of James Feldine, and with just 6.8 seconds left. What a clever play from J.C. Carroll. Llull couldn't make the shot that surely would have won it. Real Madrid has a problem here with Trey Tompkins down injured after landing awkwardly, going for the rebound. But then what a big play from J.C. Carroll. They offered the plays of the night, the plays of the week, the big dunks, the blocks, the buzzer beaters, but a different kind of big play there from J.C. Carroll, saving the ball for Real Madrid and getting possession by throwing it against the legs of Feldine. If the replay continues, there it is. Carroll, he knew what it meant. Look at the celebration. Feldine was trying to usher it out of play, so his team got the ball. As Tompkins hobbles to the sidelines. Here it is again. Carroll knew what was happening, threw it against Feldine. The celebration, like he'd celebrate a three-pointer. J.C. Carroll, smart heads-up play. And now it means with 6.8 seconds left, Real Madrid's going to have possession and Panathinaikos going to have to commit a foul as quickly as possible. Hope that only one of them goes in, the free throws, and then that will be a 3-point game for Panathinaikos to give it to, no doubt, Feldine to try and tie it up. So Madrid comes out with Fernandez, who will inbound it. Llull, Machulis, Ion, and Carroll. Who will they try to give it to? It's Carroll who's fouled there by Feldine. And they took a second off the clock. So Carroll from the line now. He's been pretty cold tonight shooting, J.C. Carroll. Only 2 of 5 field goals connected and 1 of 2 free throws. If he can score both of these, it's not quite game over, but close to it. Misses one. It's a 3-point game and Panathinaikos will have a chance to send it to overtime. The first goes up and is missed. Now, of course, if he misses both, that opens up the options for Real Madrid. Sorry, for Panathinaikos to either tie it with a two-pointer or win it with a triple. Here's Carroll, important, gets it. So it's a three-point game, timeout, and time for Xavi Pascual to try and draw something up. And wouldn't it come down to this, the former Barcelona coach who's had so many games here against Real Madrid, big occasions, all of them, now trying to draw up a play for his team to send it to overtime, and it would be the third consecutive overtime game for Panathinaikos. And what another great game it has been. Really has been such an entertaining season so far in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. So many good games, week after week. It's so competitive, this league. And this for the honour, remember, of joint second place along with Darüşşafaka. What will Pablo Lasso come up with defensively, of course, to try and stop Panathinaikos? These two coaches know each other so well, they could probably almost read each other's minds. So the 5 men being sent out to defend for Real Madrid are Llull, Fernandez, Randolph, Ion, Machulis. The 5 on offense for Panathinaikos. Calapis, Rivers, who can shoot the triples, Feldin, who certainly can, and Foxis, of course, and Singleton. That's 4 very good three-point shooters on the floor. Surely it's got to be Feldin, though. They'll look to get it to. He's so hot. 6 triples tonight for Feldin. Here we go. Will we have overtime in Madrid? Calapis gets it in bounds for Rivers. Rivers, it's short, rebounded by Randolph, and that's the end of the game. Real Madrid holds on for the victory. And Real Madrid takes second place in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, moving to 5-2. Hard fought win. What a great game. But in the end, the heroics of Sergio Llull were enough. Xavi Pascual cannot get the win on his return to Madrid.
Turkish Airlines, 7 days, Bwin, and Siesta. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.